I'm James Brazier. I'm manager of FututreWorks. I've been in this role for a massive 2 weeks, but I have over 10 years experience in managing new product introductions for Coca-Cola specifically. Ooh, just go back. So over 20 years experience in FMCG. My current role, as I said, is manager of FututreWorks. New to Australia, new to the world, innovation is our focus. And we lead a very, very small team of people who, a team of 5, who lead product and package innovation for our company. I'm one of the few people in our business anyway that have experience in new products, quality distribution, and I've also spent my time in finance, so I have some affiliation with some of the people here in the accountancy side. We have just some background on Amatil. Everyone says, oh, you lead innovation for Coca-Cola. What do you do, a different coloured red on your cans every now and again? We do more than that. So we have we operate in 6 countries. 3.2 billion litres every year is sold. Our largest part of the revenue is in beverages, so over 85% of the revenue is in beverages. I don't know if I can get rid of that sign, but underneath there it's 275 million consumers that we have, that we impact. Our range of products, some of them you know very well, Coca-Cola obviously, but we do water, Jim Beam, we do chilled products, refrigeration, we do at-work equipment with Never Fail, and grinders, coffee, as well as SPC within the Australian business. Just to give you some other facts on scale, so we have 15 manufacturing facilities, 38 production lines, 1,100 SKUs. Each state is largely self-sufficient, so 85% of each state, of the products that we sell in each state are made in each state. And we have the 2nd largest distribution network in the country, so only Australia Post beats us. So if you want to do any mail deliveries, you can. 60% of our business is still with 2 or 3 customers. Right, so that's our background of our business. I will give you an introduction of how we manage innovation within our business. And really, for the last 10 years, we've had a simple stage and gate process. Varying levels of complexity, but essentially a 3 or 4 gate process. I say 3 or 4 because the last one is the decision to manufacture, so it's a fairly straightforward one. But business plans go in, results come out, and it's been very successful. We have a team of 12 full-time people who are just tasked with managing that process through. So we do have scale in some areas. And what we've been introducing over the last 2 to 6 years is FututreWorks, which is basically allowing us to do some more exploratory work, give a bit longer term, so that a 9-month NPD versus maybe a 2-year FututreWorks project. It gives us a lot more time to do some exploration. And then we have an Innovate program, which I think has been presented before to these BRW meetings, and I'll give you a little bit of context on the FututreWorks and the Innovate. So Innovate is really the ground up innovation program for CCA. It's really about listening to your people, and we've been on this journey for 6 years, and it's on the back of some great work done by Derek O'Donnell, who's now our manager for beer. And essentially it's like an idea box, but everyone's tried idea boxes before and they generally fail. We've been 6 years into this journey. We have a tool called Edison where people can enter their ideas. There is a simple stage and gate process, and the innovators are tasked with delivering that innovation to the business. So far we have over 8,000 ideas, with the vast majority of those ideas being implemented over that time. And every year we have an awards ceremony hosted by our Managing Director and CEO, Terry Davis, and there's a large level of engagement within it. And it's been extremely successful to the point where now people don't want us to change anything about it. So anytime we try and tamper with it, there's a lot of protectionism about it. So it's built a lot of employee engagement. We have a scorecard, and this is one of the things that drives it through, and this is published every month. It's very visible. It started in the supply chain, but it's now permeating into the sales area, and it tracks our progress of these ideas. Not specifically the ideas, but the categories and the type, and we find this particularly effective in managing the implementation of some of these ideas. On the FututreWorks side, it's a little bit more strategic, and I'll give you some examples of these different success stories later on, but essentially it's our our R&D program, I said, 5 people in the team, so it's not we haven't got 50 resources sitting there coming up with different ways to do things, to manage transformational innovation. And that's really expanding our footprint, is our capability to do business within Australia and within the Pacific region. It's new to Australia or new to the world, and it seems ambitious with just 5 people, but so far it's been extremely successful. So we have some very simple metrics. We don't have a large amount of time to sit there and measure our success. It's largely about throughput, value return, and on actual efficiency of that process. So 30 ideas in, 10 projects through gate 1, and then an incremental net sales revenue of over 10 million. We're looking for less than 5% failure of our processes due to foreseen technical timing. So we're looking for compliance to timelines. Now this is a really complicated slide. I hate putting it up, but I think it gives this sort of states our challenge within our business. Essentially, the key things to focus on is we do top-down innovation, so it comes from our board level down, and we have some pathways to deliver those innovations, and we have steering committees which manage the resources. It's important to manage your priorities. We have a bottom-up innovation program which also feeds into those same resources. So we don't have different sets of resources running around. The people that manage business improvement do that for both elements, top-down and bottom-up. The same for new products as well as for FututreWorks programs. And then we also harvest ideas from our customers, our business partners like Beam, etc. And we have structured programs where we go through and harvest those ideas and feed them back into the same process. So we're trying to get a bottom-up, a top-down, and an external internal process in place. It's taken a while to get there, and that's what our focus is for 2013. And I'll just give you some success stories that we've had. So this is the first Tetra Pak with a Prisma pack that we've implemented in Australia within the Coca-Cola system. So it'll be the first time we've entered into this area, and that'll be coming out in the next month. We've also introduced dairy processing. It's the first time within Coca-Cola Amatil we've done manufacture of dairy products in a PET bottle. It's representing a very large investment of around $35 to $40 million across the 2 projects. We were one of the first companies, when we moved out of beer, we had all these taps that were available. So the idea was to capture those taps with a ready-to-drink alcohol. So it was Canadian Club and Dry was launched, and we were one of the first to put it in kegs and take back some of those taps for non-beer products. We introduced, and this is an example of a vertical integration. So most bottlers around the world will make beverages, but we also blow our own bottles, blow the preforms that form those bottles, and we're the only bottler in the world that makes our own closures. And that's all come under the realm of FututreWorks. So it's the lightest 600ml bottle in Australia. It's 35% less plastic. It's 27% lower carbon footprint, and it's won design awards in both Australia and in the World Packaging Awards. In saying that, we're not resting on our laurels. There's some obvious opportunities about opening and trying to make sure they continue to improve. So we've already started our next program to try and drive improvements in that process. So that's very product and package based. We also have digital innovation. So this came out of Innovate, which is a way of training people in bar staff on coffees, alcoholic drinks, beers, on how to use it. It's an app. You can get it through iTunes, and it will train people on how to do it and how to use these products effectively. And then simple things from another example from Innovate. So they're not all big ideas, and I think that's some of the context that's come through from the previous speakers. A simple pallet checking tool which allows our forklift drivers to not lose the little piece of paper that tells them how high they can stack their pallets. It's attached by a spring-loaded mechanism to their forklift so it never disappears. So really, really small things to $40 million investments to where we have a call centre in St Leonard's of around 120 people. They had to call in to change shifts to cover all of the different times, and there was a very complicated process to get the manager's approval and change those timelines. So they came up with a new process themselves to do this online, saving 23 hours worth of approval but effectively, I mean, which is not huge on the scheme of things, but it's made these Gen Y people largely very, very happy because they feel like they've taken some ownership in their own business. So obviously we've gone and we've also got other products coming out. So Cascade, the non-alcoholic side of the business, will be is just starting to go live from Coca-Cola Amatil's side. Sparkling soft drinks, so we're expanding our brand portfolio. We've got continuing partnerships with Jen Hawkins, who does a lot of our co-promotion with Mount Franklin. And this is the Cozzy range of bottles, which you can always tell when a promotion works well when you launch it and everyone in the office comes around and steals the bottles to take them home. Not steals, acquires. Drinks with fervour with the lid still on. So, but these are extremely good processes and projects to work on because it's taking, you know, who'd have thought a swimsuit and a bottle of water? Like, it's not something that intuitively you tie together. And then moving into other categories, simplicity. So we're not just about Coca-Cola, we're also moving into organic. We do organic leaf teas and fair trade teas and a range of different products. So I could go on. There's a large list. As I said, there was 8,000 different ideas that have been implemented within, but I just wanted to give you a snapshot of the scale and the varying scale as to how it's done within Amatil.